When I, good friends, was called to the bar, I'd an appetite fresh and hearty, but I was as many young barristers are in impecunious party. I'd a swallowtail coat of a beautiful blue, and a brief which I bought of a booby. A couple of shirts and a collar or two, and a ring that looked like a ruby.
Need a couple of shirts and a collar or two, and a ring that looked like a ruby.
In Westminster Hall I danced a dance like a semi-despondent fury, for I thought I should never hit on a chance of addressing a British jury. But I soon got tired of third-class journeys and dinners of bread and water. So I fell in love with the rich attorney's elderly, ugly daughter.
So he fell in love with the rich attorney's elderly, ugly daughter.
The rich attorney, he jumped with joy, replied to my fun professions. You shall reap the reward of a pluck, my boy, at the Bailey and Middlesex sessions. You'll soon get used to a look, said he, and a very nice girl you will find her. She may very well pass for 43 in the dusk with a light behind her.
She may very well pass for 43 in the dusk with a light behind her.
The rich attorney was good as his word, the briefs came to whooping gaily, and every day my voice was heard at the sessions or ancient Bailey. All thieves who could my fees afford relied on my orations, and many a burglar I've restored to his friends and his relations.
And many a burglar he's restored to his friends and his relations.
At length I became as rich as the Gurneys, an incubus then I thought her, so I threw over that rich attorney's elderly, ugly daughter. The rich attorney, my character high, tried vainly to disparage.
No.
Yes. And now, if you please, I'm ready to try this breach of promise of marriage.
And now, if you please, he's ready to try this breach of promise of marriage.
For now I'm a judge.
And a good judge, too.
Yes, now I'm a judge.
And a good judge, too.
Though all my law be fudge, yet I'll never, never budge. But I'll live and die a judge, and a good judge, too. When first my old love I knew, my bosom welled with joy. My riches at her feet I threw, I was a lovesick boy. No term seemed too extravagant upon her to employ. I used to mope and sigh and pant, just like a lovesick boy. Tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink,
Tick-a-tank,
tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink.
tick-a-tank.
I used to mope and sigh and pant, just like a lovesick boy.
Tick-a-tank.
But joy incessant falls the sense, and love unchanged will cloy, and she became a bore intense unto a lovesick boy. With fitful glimmer burnt my flame, and I grew cold and coy. At last one morning I became another's lovesick boy. Tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink,
Tick-a-tank,
tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink, tick-a-tink.
tick-a-tank.
At last one morning I became another's lovesick boy. In enterprise of martial kind, when there was any fighting, he led his regiment from behind, he found it less exciting. But when away his regiment ran, his place was at the fore. That celebrated, cultivated, underrated nobleman, the Duke of Blasitoro.
In the first and foremost fight,
Ha ha!
you always found that night.
Ha ha! That celebrated, cultivated, underrated nobleman, the Duke of Blasitoro. When to evade destruction's hand, to hide they all proceeded. No soldier in that gallant band hid half as well as he did. He lay concealed throughout the war, and so preserved his gore. Oh, that unaffected, undetected, well-connected warrior, the Duke of Blasitoro.
In every doughty deed,
Ha ha!
he always took the lead.
Ha ha! That unaffected, undetected, well-connected warrior, the Duke of Blasitoro. When told that they would all be shot unless they left the service, that hero hesitated not, so marvelous his nerves. He sent his resignation in the first of all his quarrel. That very knowing, overflowing, easygoing paladin, the Duke of Plaza Toro.
To men of grosser fame, he always showed the way.
That celebrated, cultivated, unaffected, undetected, very knowing, overflowing, easygoing paladin, the Duke.
The Duke of Plaza
Toro.
Toro.
When a felon's not engaged in his employment, or maturing his felonious little plans, his capacity for innocent enjoyment, is just as great as any honest man's. Our feelings we with difficulty smother, when constabulary duties to be done, taking one consideration with another. A policeman's lot is not an happy one. When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's lot is not an happy one. When the enterprising burglar's not a burgling, when the cutthroat isn't occupied in crime, he loves to hear the little brook a-gurgling, and listen to the merry village chime. When the coster's finished jumping on his mother, he loves to lie a-basking in the sun, taking one consideration with another. A policeman's lot is not an happy one. When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's lot is not an happy one. When the drunkard shows no sign of where the drink went, he nobly bids all alcohol farewell. When the juvenile delinquent to the clink went, he hung his mother's picture in his cell. When the card sharp's finished wiping out his brother, he buys a rattle for his little son. Taking one consideration with another. Policeman's lot is not an happy one. When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's lot is not an happy one. If you're anxious for to shine in the high aesthetic line as a man of culture rare, you must get up all the germs of the transcendental terms and plant them everywhere. You must lie upon the daisies and discourse in novel phrases of your complicated state of mind. The meaning doesn't matter if it's only idle chatter of a transcendental kind. And everyone will say, as you walk your mystic way, if this young man expresses himself in terms too deep for me, why, what a very singularly deep young man this deep young man must be. Be he eloquent to praise of the very dull old days which have long since passed away. And convince him if you can that the reign of good Queen Anne was culture's palmiest day. Oh, of course you will pooh-pooh whatever's fresh and new and declare it's crude and mean. For art stopped short in the cultivated court of the Empress Josephine. And everyone will say, as you walk your mystic way, if that's not good enough for him, which is good enough for me? Why, what a very cultivated kind of youth this kind of youth must be. Any subject, controversial, economic, or commercial, you must treat with lifted brow. Let the hoi polloi get bilious, keep the manner supercilious of a slightly sacred cow. If with courage Carthaginian you just offer no opinion, you'll be hailed as a man of sense. Endeavor to be clever and commit yourself forever to a firm stand on the fence. And everyone will say, as you go your silent way, since this young man doesn't open his mouth and nothing wrong says he, why, what a most infallibly right young man this right young man must be. When you're lying awake with a dismal headache and repose is tabooed by anxiety, I conceive you may use any language you choose to indulge in without impropriety, for your brain is on fire, the bedclothes conspire of usual slumber to plunder you. First your counterpane goes in and covers your toes, and your sheet slips demurely from under you. Then the blanketing tickles, you feel like mixed pickles, so terribly sharp is the pricking, and you're hot and you're cross and you tumble and toss till there's nothing twixt you and the ticking. Then the bedclothes all creep to the ground in a heap, and you pick 'em all up in a tangle. Next your pillow resigns and politely declines to remain at its usual angle. Well, you get some repose in the form of a doze with hot eyeballs and head ever aching, but your slumbering teems with those horrible dreams that you'd very much better be waking. For you dream you are ill, having swallowed a pill that was made out of ossified onyx, and the doctor you found, he is traveling around on a subway that's bound for the Bronx. Oh, you must find him fast as the hours go past. You're convinced you are headed for tragedy, for you saw him on Sunday, felt much worse on Monday, and here it's the following Saturday. You're full of suspicion that traveling physician, he fed you some stuff with a barb in it, so you dash to the street while you frantically eat a souffle made of sodium bicarbonate. To a druggist you rush, but he gives you the brush saying, who let this asthmatic gasperin? Though you plead with a villain, you need penicillin, he won't even give you an aspirin. Then a pill on the shelf leaps down by itself and it lands on your head like a lead post. You suddenly awaken, no wonder you ache. You've been hitting yourself with a bedpost. You're a regular wreck with a crick in your neck, and no wonder you snore, for your head's on the floor and you've needles and pins from your soles to your shins, and your flesh is a creep and your leg is asleep, and you've cramp in your toes and a fly on your nose and some fluff in your lung and a feverish tongue and a thirst that's intense and a general sense that you haven't been sleeping in clover. But the darkness has passed, and it's daylight at last, and the night has been long. Ditto, ditto, my son, and thank goodness they're both of them over. The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty, he scorns to tell a story. And see his flame, that placid dame, the moon celestial highness. There's not a trace upon her face of diffidence or shyness. shy. We hold our hearts up high, the moon and I. So in my love for you I am not shy. We hold our hearts up high, the moon and I. So in my love for you I am not shy. We hold our hearts up high, the moon and I.
My name is John Wellington Wells. I'm a dealer in magic and spells, in blessings and curses and never fill purses and prophecies, witches and knells. If you want a proud foe to make tracks, if you'd melt a rich uncle in wax, you've but to look in on the resident gin number 70 Simmery X. We've a first-class assortment of magic, and for raising a posthumous shade, with effects that are comic or tragic, there's no cheaper house in the trade. Love filter, we've quantities of it, and for knowledge if anyone burns, we keep an extremely small profit, a prophet who brings us unbounded returns. For he can prophesy with a wink of as I peep with security into futurity. Sum up your history, clear up a mystery, humor proclivity, for the nativity, for the nativity. With mirrors so magical, tetrapods tragical, bogey spectacular, answers oracular, facts astronomical, solemn or comical, and if you want it, he makes a reduction on taking a quantity. Oh! If anyone anything lacks, you'll find it already in stacks. If you'll only look in on the resident gin number 70 Simmery X. Can raise you hosts of ghosts, and that without reflectors, and creepy things with wings, and gaunt and grisly specters. He can fill you crowds of shrouds, and horrify you vastly. He can wreck your brains with chains, and gibberings grim and ghastly. Then if you plan it, he changes organity with an urbanity full of satanity, vexes humanity with an inanity fatal to vanity, driving your foes to the verge of insanity. Barring tautology, demonology, electrobiology, mystic nosology, spirit philology, high-class astrology, such as his knowledge, he isn't the man to require an apology. Oh! My name is John Wellington Wells. I'm a dealer in magic and spells, in blessings and curses, and never fill purses and prophecies, witches and knells. If anyone anything lacks, you'll find it already in stacks. If you'll only look in on the resident gin number 70 Simmery X. When I was a lad, I served a term as an office boy to an attorney's firm. I cleaned the windows and I swept the floor, polished up the handle of the big front door.
Polished up the handle of the big front door.
I polished up that handle so carefully that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
He polished up the handle so carefully that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
As office boy, I made such a mark that they gave me the post of a junior clerk. I served the writs with a smile so bland, copied all the letters in a big round hand.
He copied all the letters in a big round hand.
I copied all the letters in a hand so free that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
He copied all the letters in a hand so free, and now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Of legal knowledge I acquired such a grip that they took me into the partnership. And the junior partnership, I ween, was the only ship that I had ever seen.
Was the only ship that he had ever seen.
That kind of ship so suited me that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Army.
But the kind of ship so suited he that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
I grew so rich that I was sent by a pocket borough into Parliament. I always voted at my party's call, and I never thought of thinking for myself at all.
And he never thought of thinking for himself at all.
I thought so little they rewarded me by making me the ruler of the Queen's Army.
He thought so little they rewarded he by making him the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Now, landsmen all, whoever you may be, if you want to rise to the top of the tree, if your soul isn't fettered to an office stool, be careful to be guided by this golden rule.
Be careful to be guided by this golden rule.
Stick close to your desks and never go to sea, and you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy.
Stick close to your desks and never go to sea.
No, never, never, never go to sea. And you all may be rulers of the Queen's